Hey everyone, welcome back to Did You Know, your go-to channel for mind-blowing facts. Today, we're diving deep into the sometimes confusing, often surprising, always fascinating world of geopolitics. Get ready to have your mind blown by these 10 unexpected country rivalries. Let's get started. Kicking off our list at number 10, we have Spain versus the United Kingdom. This rivalry is not just a modern-day issue but is deeply rooted in centuries of history and complex geopolitics. At the heart of this rivalry is a tiny, yet strategically significant piece of land called Gibraltar. This small territory has been a focal point of contention for over 3 centuries. Gibraltar has been ruled by the British since 1713, a hangover from the War of the Spanish Succession. The Treaty of Utrecht marked the beginning of British control, and since then, it has remained a British overseas territory. Spain argues that Gibraltar should be returned to its control, citing its history and geographic location. They believe that the territory, located at the southern tip of the Iberian Peninsula, naturally belongs to Spain. The UK, however, has held firm, citing the wishes of the Gibraltarians themselves. The people of Gibraltar have repeatedly voted in referendums to remain a British overseas territory, valuing their British identity and governance. This tug-of-war over Gibraltar has led to diplomatic tensions and border disputes. Both nations have engaged in numerous negotiations and diplomatic meetings, yet a resolution remains elusive. It's a classic example of how historical grievances can cast long shadows, even between countries that are allies and trading partners. The legacy of past conflicts continues to influence present-day relations. So, there you have it. Number 10 on our list, Spain versus the UK, a rivalry fueled by history, geography, and national pride. This enduring conflict serves as a reminder of how deeply historical events can shape modern geopolitics and national identities. At number 9, we have India versus Pakistan. This one's well known, often making headlines, but the complexities and historical baggage run deep. The story of India and Pakistan is deeply intertwined, born out of the partition of British India in 1947. At the heart of this rivalry lies the Kashmir region, claimed by both India and Pakistan. Since partition, the two countries have fought 2 wars over Kashmir, and the region remains a major flashpoint. Despite attempts at dialogue and peace processes, the road to reconciliation remains long and arduous. The India-Pakistan rivalry is a stark reminder of the human cost of partition and the challenges of finding peace in the face of deep-seated historical grievances. Sliding into number 8, we have Japan versus South Korea. Beneath the surface of K-pop and bullet trains lies a complex and often tense relationship. This rivalry is rooted in history, specifically Japan's colonization of Korea from 1910 to 1945. Disputes over territory, interpretations of history, and even apologies for past wrongs continue to strain relations. One of the most contentious issues is the Leoncourt Rocks, a group of small islets claimed by both countries. These historical disputes often spill over into the present, impacting trade relations and cultural exchanges. The Japan-South Korea rivalry is a reminder that historical grievances can have a powerful hold. At number 7, we're heading to North Africa for Morocco versus Algeria. These two neighbors have a complex relationship marked by territorial disputes and political tensions. At the heart of this rivalry lies the Western Sahara, a former Spanish colony. Morocco claims sovereignty over Western Sahara, while the Polisario Front, backed by Algeria, fights for self-determination. This territorial dispute has fueled decades of tension and conflict. The rivalry between Morocco and Algeria has significant implications for regional stability and security. It's a complex rivalry with no easy solutions, one that continues to shape the geopolitical landscape of North Africa. At number 6, we're heading north for Norway versus Russia. These two countries share a border in the Arctic, where climate change is opening up new shipping routes and access to resources. Both Norway and Russia have their eyes on these prizes, fueling tensions. The rivalry between Norway and Russia is playing out in military exercises, intelligence gathering, and economic competition. Both countries are bolstering their military presence in the Arctic. The stakes are high, and both Norway and Russia are determined to protect their interests. The story of Norway and Russia is a reminder that climate change is not just an environmental issue, but also a geopolitical one. At number 5, we have Saudi Arabia versus Iran. These two Middle Eastern powerhouses have been locked in a struggle for regional dominance for decades. At the heart of this rivalry lies a fundamental difference in religious identity and interpretation. Saudi Arabia sees itself as the leader of the Sunni Muslim world, while Iran is the standard-bearer for Shia Islam. This rivalry plays out in proxy wars in Yemen and Syria, and a battle for influence in Lebanon and Iraq. The rivalry between Saudi Arabia and Iran has had a destabilizing effect on the Middle East. It's a rivalry that's deeply rooted in history, but one that continues to have very real consequences for the region. At number 4, we have China versus Vietnam. These two neighbors have a complex relationship marked by territorial disputes and a history of conflict. The roots of this rivalry can be traced back centuries, with Vietnam having spent long periods under Chinese domination. In the 20th century, the rivalry took on a new dimension with the rise of communism in both countries. The rivalry between China and Vietnam continues to play out in the South China Sea, where both countries have overlapping territorial claims. China's increasingly assertive posture in the region has alarmed Vietnam and other Southeast Asian nations. The rivalry between China and Vietnam is a reminder that historical grievances can have a long shelf life. At number 3, we have France versus Italy, a rivalry that has spanned centuries and continues to evolve. These two European neighbors have a long history of competition, cultural clashes, and a touch of sibling rivalry. From historical conflicts to modern-day disagreements, their relationship is complex and multifaceted. While France and Italy have much in common, such as their rich cultural heritages, exquisite cuisines, and influential art scenes, they also have a long history of competition dating back to the Roman Empire. In the 20th century, this rivalry intensified. The rivalry took on a new dimension with the rise of fascism in Italy and the Second World War, which saw both nations on opposing sides of the conflict. This period left a lasting impact on their relations. Today, the rivalry between France and Italy is more subdued, playing out primarily in the economic and cultural spheres. They compete in areas such as technology, automotive industries, and tourism. The two countries are often at odds over EU policies, trade agreements, and even fashion trends. Their fashion houses, for instance, are constantly vying for global dominance. The rivalry between France and Italy is a reminder that even close neighbors can be rivals. Despite their differences, this competition has also driven both nations to excel and innovate, making significant contributions to the world. At number 2, we have Greece versus Turkey, a rivalry that has spanned centuries and continues to shape the geopolitics of the region. These two neighbors have a long and tumultuous relationship marked by conflict, mistrust, and a struggle for dominance in the Eastern Mediterranean. Their disputes are not just about territory but also about national identity and historical grievances. The roots of this rivalry can be traced back to the Byzantine Empire and the rise of the Ottoman Empire. The fall of Constantinople in 1453 was a significant turning point, leading to centuries of Ottoman rule over Greek territories. In the 20th century, the rivalry intensified with the collapse of the Ottoman Empire and the population exchange between the two countries. This exchange, mandated by the Treaty of Lausanne in 1923, uprooted millions and left deep scars on both societies. The issue of Cyprus, divided since 1974, remains a major flashpoint in the relationship. The island's division into Greek and Turkish sectors has led to ongoing tensions and periodic flare-ups. Adding to the mix are disputes over maritime boundaries, airspace, and energy resources in the Aegean Sea. These disputes have led to numerous confrontations and a constant state of alert between the two nations. The rivalry between Greece and Turkey is a reminder that history can cast a long shadow. The echoes of past conflicts continue to influence their present-day relations, making it one of the most enduring and complex rivalries in the world. And finally, at number 1, we have Armenia versus Azerbaijan. These two countries are locked in a struggle over the disputed region of Nagorno-Karabakh. The roots of this rivalry can be traced back to the collapse of the Soviet Union. The conflict has remained frozen since 1994, with sporadic outbreaks of violence. The rivalry between Armenia and Azerbaijan is fueled by historical grievances, ethnic tensions, and geopolitical interests. Both countries view the conflict over Nagorno-Karabakh as an existential struggle. The rivalry between Armenia and Azerbaijan is a stark reminder that ethnic conflict and territorial disputes can lead to devastating violence. Wow! From the icy plains of the Arctic to the sun-drenched shores of the Mediterranean, we've journeyed across the globe, uncovering the hidden tensions and historical baggage that fuel these unexpected rivalries. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of unexpected rivalries, give this video a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and let us know in the comments which rivalry surprised you the most. Until next time, keep exploring the world with Did You Know?